And another part of self-care, self-pleasure, orgasms, they're healing. So
absolutely,
that part is important. Seriously.
Yeah.
Like we can talk about sex with other people, but I'm talking about specifically yourself, having that conversation with your body about what you need.
Hi, welcome to the couch. I am Joy River, and I am sitting here with my best friends, and we're going to sit here today and talk about self-care and the importance of it. And the first question that we're going to start with, and everybody's going to answer. And two, y'all introduce yourself. Just say your name before y'all start, okay? Just your name. Y'all ain't got to give them all the information because that's not an effort. What's your name? We're going to talk about how did you learn to love yourself?
So many aspects.
How did you learn? And in how did you learn, a deeper question, when did you become aware that now is the time for me to start taking care of myself in this way? You want to start with Jasmine?
I'm Jasmine Henson. Okay, so how did I learn to love myself? Is that the first part? Okay. I would say when I started to realize that I wasn't feeling the love that I felt like I needed. And when I discovered that, instead of me looking outwardly first to say, okay, well, I'm not getting it from these other things, I needed to figure out what I wanted and what I needed. And as I learned what I liked, then I learned to love the things that I thought I disliked about myself first. Still on that journey. But in learning how to take care of me in a different way, I really find myself loving me more. And then do I have to do part 2 now?
No, let's do we'll keep it at part 1. Okay. Everybody can talk about how.
But that was a good little summary.
Cute. Nadia.
How did I learn to love myself? Well, I learned to love myself by creating boundaries for other people. For a long time, I didn't know how to create boundaries. Boundaries were uncomfortable to me because they made other people uncomfortable. So in learning to love myself, I created those boundaries and learned to be okay with those boundaries and learn to say no and be okay with no. And make sure my cup is full before I pour into others.
Because boy, we've been pouring for years, bro. Pouring. How did I learn to love myself? I can honestly say different experiences and relationships taught me that the love for myself was at a real slim place. And I saw how much I loved myself based on who I was choosing to love me or thinking that they would love me. Cause so, coming out of those places, I learned that what I wanted could only come from within me. And if I learned how to truly love myself and find out what I liked, what I wanted in a partner, what I wanted at my job, as a career, anything, it had to start with myself, with looking inside like, Joy, what is it? What do you want? What would make you happy? And listening to my intuition and discernment has definitely been a key in me becoming who I am today. So, yeah.
Now reframe the question again. Y'all done so well with answering. And now I'm like, what is the question?
How did you learn to love yourself?
How did I learn? Hi, everybody. My name is Jasmine. Jasmine Wild. I learned to love myself, like you said, through trial and error. I would really say it was after my divorce, and it felt like my world was falling apart. Like the rug had been just pulled from under my feet. And two of the biggest titles that I would hold was being a wife and a mother. And so after all of that kind of just was quote unquote taken away, it left me with myself to figure out, okay, what do I like? What music do I like to listen to? What kind of food do I like to eat? Because we can form and shape ourselves depending on who we're in a close relationship with. So really it was having to start from ground zero, having everything taken away. And in that process, I learned how to love myself because it was just me. With the divorce also came co-parenting. So, they would spend time with their dad and then time with me. So that time alone, I was like, whoa, no husband and no kids. Ooh, what am I supposed to do? Who am I? What do I like? So I too learned more about myself through relationships and time on my own. Learning what I liked, learning what I disliked, and also, like you said, Nadia, setting boundaries. So,
marry Elise or Cree, what they call it. Self-love. There's so many aspects of that I was saying earlier. I love myself while I learned to love myself, even through different people. With friends, even within myself, I was always the one to love on everybody. And I'm like, oh, no, I'll do for you. And once again, that boundaries was something that I was struggling with. So it was always depleting me. And I'm like, no, but this is who I am. I love you. No, I love you. But, Chris, turn that mirror, like love yourself enough to even feed yourself. And that was a whole nother thing. Joy had to tell me, like, girl, go eat, which is a way of self-love. Because in my mind, I'm just like, well, I'll just keep going. I can do this. I can do that. And I'm getting weak. I'm getting tired. I'm pushing for other people and I'm not even pushing for myself. So I had to be, I don't know if we've gone to the second part for the where, but, I learned early on because I was a private kid, still am, real loner of what I loved as far as music and my passion for creativity. So in that aspect, that's how I knew what love was. And then it started to branch off to different perspectives of love. Perspective of love. And I've learned that even, like I said, through different relationships for the people that loved me and how I loved people. It was just so abundant. It was just like kind of too much. And I'm like, wait a minute, Chris, bring that on back. Come here, girl. Yeah. And it feels good to love on you. It feels good it's like a satisfaction of you did well today. Like you look in the mirror, like you may look like you had this, but you got it, boo. Like, and I'm still learning that day by day and I'm learning who I am. So I'm learning who I am and I'm loving who I am every second, every moment through different people, through different connections, through work, through my niece and nephews, through not parenting, but, my babies, but, through parents, through friends, through siblings and how I connect with them. And once again, with the boundaries, it's not that I don't love you, but I love me and I have to make sure that I am filled first for me to love you how I want to love you. So yeah, it's a journey.
Okay. So that's the how we learn to love ourselves. And the next question is, I want the situation where you guys tapped it. Okay, so I'm asking them these questions because I want you guys to get this inside look at my life. Okay. These women have helped me through some pretty traumatic times. Okay. And that's why they're here. So I hope and pray that you guys are writing stuff down as you hear it and getting empowered as we talk. So I want to know the situation where you became aware, like, this is it. And when I say the situation, because I know we named a few things, but say and let women know exactly where you were when you said, this is it. I have to do something different because I am in a spiral downward. And the only way out was self-care and self-love. Do you remember your situation where it was like, bing, bing, that's it. I'm not going back. I'm not going back to that.
I would say, honestly, recently,
Okay.
it was probably maybe like the summer of 2020. I just started to like, physically, I started gaining weight because I was carrying so much emotionally and I was not letting it go anywhere. I had no outlet. I felt like everything that I would normally do to express myself, my emotions, my feelings, all got made, it had to stop because of what was going on in the world. So I was holding everything and I felt like I was making the decisions for me, the decisions for my roommate at the time, who was dealing with grief of the loss of both of her parents. It was just so much all at one time. And my normal go-tos weren't working or weren't accessible. And I remember saying, okay, Jasmine, something that everything you're doing is not working. So you got to figure this out. Since you can't go anywhere, why don't you go outside and just walk, get some fresh air? And that thought process of just movement and getting outside of where I was, even though I couldn't physically leave the space, but leaving the space, it helped me. It helped me refocus on or put my focus on what I could control.
Yeah.
Me focusing on what I could control helped me get myself out because it was so dark that I couldn't even say I'm in a dark place. And it wasn't like I want to, attempt suicide because I'd done that already and I knew it wasn't going to work. So there was no need to fail in that way. I just had to figure out what I could control. So focusing on taking care of me in another way, that was the thing that it was like the light switch. And then I'm like, okay, if I can focus on what I can control, you know what? You may not have everything you want right in front of you, but you can prepare for everything that's coming to you.
Ooh, yeah.
So in that preparation, like that just helped me. I don't know. It's almost like the cloak was removed. The light was turned on. It wasn't dark anymore because I could focus on just those small things, the small things every day. And then it just changed to, wow, like I like how this makes me feel. I like.
And she work out every morning. Okay.
Yeah, that did turn into it did.
Every morning.
We study. But look, the thing about it is, even with that, it's so funny because at first it was a thing to do. But now it's so much a part of me that I don't even think about it. No matter where I'm going, no matter being on the road, whatever, like I still have enough to be able to show up for me in that way. So every morning it belongs to Jasmine. Like regardless of what my schedule looks like, I have time for me and it's non-negotiable. And that just, I don't know. It's like,
Sets the tone.
Yeah, it does. It sets the tone for my day. And it's not of me saying I'm putting any frustration because I'm waking up and doing it. So that's how my day starts.
I love it.
And that's a part of my meditation. Like it just, I don't know. Yeah, but showing up for me in that way, preparing for everything that's coming to me, that was the moment that started it all.
That's dope. Come on, 2020.
Right.
Who want to go next?
I will.
Okay.
I'm over here writing a novel.
I love it though.
It ain't stopped, right?
So, the question was, when did you become aware that you need to choose self? I would say it was about 2 years ago when I was completely overwhelmed with everything around me and probably everybody around me. Listening to people's issues, dealing with their issues, being there financially, spiritually, physically for everybody except me. And it became too much. And so I cried and I broke down and I screamed and I yelled and I shouted at my baby. And she instantly turned into me. She put on my clothes, put on my shoes. And I was crying in her chest and sobbing, and she was not crying. And she said, Mommy, you have to be a big girl because you tell me to be a big girl. And so in that moment, because she was a reflection of me, I knew that I was loving her right. And I knew that I needed to give that same type of love back to myself and know that I'm okay when I'm okay. But if I'm not okay, I can say, no, I'm not okay. Yeah. And that's okay.
Right.
And I can also say to other people today, I don't want to be okay for you either. So with not being okay for them, and it was uncomfortable, but now I can say, not today.
Right.
I can't take on your mess and my mess because I need to love me first. Make sure I'm good. And then we'll circle the block and come back to you. But yeah, that was definitely my moment. And then that night I did my breakdown and cried and screamed. And when I woke up the next morning, I opened my eyes. My mama was there and she said, Nadia, you have to make sure Nadia is okay. And so from that day, Nadia is going to be okay before anybody is okay. So
that's beautiful. Come on, JC.
You did that, girl. You raised that one right to help you.
Yeah, but baby, she's special.
JC? Super special. Question. I forgot it. The moment I became aware. Okay. There were so many moments, but I will say the first one where my whole life changed is when I sat down from church, when I left church. That was a self-care move. And I know that's not going to be popular, but I did it because for a long time, church was the routine. It was embedded in my head that I had to go. So I found myself maybe 4 years ago, standing on stage, leading worship and not feeling a thing. And I knew for a fact that whatever I was giving out, people were receiving, which was emptiness completely. Right. So I'm not going to name the pastor, but I went to my leader and I said, hey, I'm not feeling effective. I'm drained. I'm burnt out. And I think I need to just sit down and get fed a little bit more. Cause maybe it's me. I don't know. I didn't know what it was. I just knew something was off every time I sat on stage to lead people into a sacred place. I just could not, it just wasn't happening. And, I remember hearing my leader say, hey, don't worry about coming back. And I was like, what do you mean don't worry about coming back? Yeah, we're good. Don't come back. I was like, well, I wasn't trying to leave. I just wanted to take a minute to just sit, you know? And that was the first time where I said, Joy, choose yourself. Joy, you have always been scared to say no to church. For what? When we are the church, yes, God is within me.
That's right.
So even sitting here with them, that's worship.
That's right.
It's connection. It is, my life changes every time I sit with them. I get better every time I sit with them. And it was the first time where I stayed away from church for about 3 years before I went back. And I found God and myself, and I found myself through God outside of church. And I'm not saying don't go. But I am saying if your motive is based off of routine and because somebody told you to, just step back, take a breath, take a beat, and figure out who God is to you. Not for the pastor, not for the congregation, but to you. And I found healing like never before, joy like never before, and peace like never before. And that was my first awakening when the church said bye. And I said yes. I was like, yes to me. I'm going to just wake up on the inside. And it's been self-care, self-love ever since. And everybody that's attracted to me is on the same way. So I appreciate that. That's when I woke up. That's when I woke up.
That's good. Let me think. the question one more time. You know, you got to be specific.
You need the reference. The question is, when did you become aware that you needed to choose self?
I think it goes back to the thing I was speaking about first. With the divorce, like you said, the church let you go. My ex-husband, it's like, I don't want to do this no more. I'm like, well, hold on. I'm touching the mic, my bad. I'm like, oh, wait a minute. So because I'm such a loyal, dedicated person. If I'm going to show up, I'm going to show up. If I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it to the best of my ability. And that's what I felt like as a wife. Like, this is what I'm supposed to do. So with being released and experiencing that rejection and just allowing myself to feel that, in that space of, like y'all said, crying, yelling, shouting. Like I said, I had kids by that time and I was upset and I'm like, who's going to want me? I have 2 kids. My body's different. Like, I have all this stuff going on. And so honestly, I will say, that moment of just allowing myself to sit in that darkness, not to try to clear it up for anybody, especially with going through a divorce, and so publicly, because I shared a lot of that online. Like, that was a thing. I was a military wife and a mom who also ran a business and, helped people spiritually and all that type of stuff. So when all those things were, I had to put it on hold. And it's like sitting in the discomfort, sitting in the despair, and not trying to be okay for anybody, because I wasn't. And I could tell it made so many people uncomfortable that I was uncomfortable because I'm so used to holding everyone else up. And in that moment, the community that I was around, and it was just like, wait, why can't you do this? Like, why can't you, get over this? And I'm like, I was married, y'all. Like, this is a family. You don't just get over it quickly. So with being able to take the time to just sit in my feelings, not try to be okay and be okay with not being okay. A lot of times we think that pain is here to torture us, and it's not it. Pain is there to show us that something is off balance, something is off. So instead of running away or trying to put a Band-Aid on top of it, sit with it. Let that wound open and sit with it. Know who needs to be around to help you tend to those wounds.
Yes.
And really take the time to, and it's uncomfortable. It's so uncomfortable to sit in vulnerability. It's so uncomfortable to sit in for real, true transparency to say, hey, I need help. Hey, I'm not okay. Hey, I don't have anything left. So it was acknowledging that my cup was completely empty and knowing first within myself and then knowing how to cry out to God, to the universe, to be like, look, I don't have this and you need to send some support. Where the angels at? Okay. Where they at?
And then here we came.
So that was the moment, being ripped of all the things we show up as human beings and those titles, how they don't mean nothing. Digging into the discomfort. So that was me.
So many moments, but one major moment was I was actually on my way to work and I had been feeling so sick, like for a couple of weeks. And I was just tired. I wasn't eating. And that morning prior, I was throwing up. I was like, I gotta go to work. I'm driving to work and I called Joy and I'm like, I don't know what's happening right now. She's like, girl, go to the hospital. Find out I was septic. I had blood poisoning. Oh. Don't do that.
But your friends will tell you months before to go.
Okay, so here's the thing. I will push myself, especially for other people. If it's work, if I'm needed, and like you said, I like to show up wholeheartedly. I'm loyal. I'm dependent. Like, let's get it done. I'm there. So I kept pushing work, family, church. Everything was just getting my attention, getting my energy. As soon as I was laid up in the hospital for about a week, the nurse came in and she was like, ma'am, I'm so glad that you came in because if you would have went another day, like you would have been dead. I said, really? Okay. Cool. And all the while I'm thinking, well, I got to do this. I got to do that. I got to do that. And my mind is still going. And my body is like, so you really want to think about that? Nigga, you about to die. Really? So it was the fact that the blood poisoning had to like change my whole mind. Like I literally had to not move. I could not move. I couldn't eat. I couldn't drink. It was to the point where I'm like, okay, so now I have to listen to you, God. Now I have to pour back into me because I have nothing. I literally had nothing to give. And people don't kind of talk about the grief that comes with boundaries, because once those are in place, once you, like you said, it's uncomfortable because now the people that you have been there for, they're like, no, why can't you do this? Well, I'm like, okay, well, let me do. No.
Mm-mm.
I don't have the energy to do
Not
this.
today.
Yeah. I love you.
Not today.
I can't do it right now.
No is a sentence.
No, and that
Period.
and I had to learn that. I had to say baby.
Write that down.
Duly noted.
No.
For real?
No.
I had to learn that. And it had to take, y'all to even grill that in me. You just about every day, like, it's okay to say no and not have anything else with it. But I'm like, but I gotta do this. Who else is gonna do it? They'll figure it out. They grown.
Yep.
You're right.
And did they figure it out?
You're right.
And they always figured it out.
Always
we always do.
We
too.
always do too.
Exactly.
Everybody can do the same.
Absolutely.
Everybody will be all right.
Tell the truth.
Yeah. I had to, I cut off, I quit my work. I quit my job. I stopped going to church for a while because once again, that was a routine. Now, it wasn't the fact that I didn't like going. It was just, I had to find who y'all was to me, like you said, because all I've been taught was I can only find him in this church.
Yep.
So when I'm next to this riverbank and this wind is blowing, that's not him.
Right.
And that's literally what I did on my Sundays, my sanctuary. That was my church time. Like I needed time for me, and it was okay to sit with it and sit with water and just trees. And I'm like, is this what you sound like?
This is God.
Is this what you feel like?
God.
Is this what you smell like?
Yeah.
And you start getting hungry for it.
Come on, hungry.
You better be a I get hungry for my peace now. It's just after
And you
After
get
I've
selfish.
tasted it,
and
it's
you get
like-
selfish with it.
yes, honey. And it's not even selfish. It's self-full because you once again have to be full. Got to be self-full.
Absolutely.
It's not selfish. This girl said self-full.
Yep. Self-full. I like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's just one of them, but it was one of the major.
But no, I
One
remember
of the
that
majors.
moment.
Oh, baby,
It changed
we
my
dogged
life
you
too.
out. We dogged you.
Oh, you did.
We dogged you.
I was
on
so
the
mad
phone.
at you, but
I was
they was pissed at me. They let me have it. I'm in the hospital about that. Chris,
Are you
oh, God.
retarded?
Idiot! I told you to eat.
But in
I
love.
told you to
In love.
Always in love.
Things.
Always in love.
However, I
You gonna get these
I
words.
thought my friend was almost out of here, but it changed all of us. It just not her, but all of us that moment. And I think what's important to remember as all the ladies are talking, everybody was down to nothing. So please write that down.
Nothing.
Nothing.
Can we zoom
Okay.
into our faces?
Nothing. Okay. And that's the
Can I
part.
get a close up? Nothing.
That's the important part because all of us sit here today full. Okay. And the reason why we're sitting here full is because not only do we have sisterhood and community, but we have a routine, rituals, self-care rituals that we hold dear to us, and they are non-negotiable, as Jasmine said.
Yeah.
Hi, welcome back to the Couch with Joy. I'm so excited that you guys chose to join me today. Today, we are going to talk about ways to relieve your stress and anxiety. I get this question a lot because people are wondering, Joy, how can I just not feel stressed and not feel anxious about what I'm doing? Because you guys are doing some really big things now. And I'm excited for each and every one of you. So while we're building these businesses and building these dreams and manifesting all our desires, stress and anxiety is a part of that. And these are 5 ways that I know for a fact, if you implement them, that it will relieve your stress. Take about 30 minutes a day to do at least one of these things. And I promise you'll see a difference because you're taking that time for yourself. So let's get into the first one. The first thing that I say that will relieve stress and anxiety is embracing our imperfections. Give yourself the space to be imperfect. As we're building and growing, we're going to make mistakes. We're going to take a path that we probably will find unfavorable. But I say keep going and learn from those mistakes. Let's not let one of those speed bumps in the way. And it's 9 times out of 10, it's going to be our mistake that we've made. Deter us from that goal. I say imperfections allow people to see that they're not alone in this. You're not alone in it. All of us are going to make certain mistakes, and all of us are going to have things that we just don't really like. But I say once we embrace those, we'll learn from it, and we'll become better, and we won't do those things anymore. We'll start changing and growing and glowing. And I promise you, if you embrace it, it won't seem like this bad thing. Because imperfections are beautiful. They make you who you are. And once you really be like, dang, that's who I am, not who I'm becoming, but like, this is me. This is where I am today, and embrace that and love on it, okay? And you won't be so anxious about, dang, I'm not. Nah, you are. You everything, okay? Cool. So write that down. Give yourself the space to be imperfect. Go ahead, write it down in your journals. And if you don't have journals, I promise you, if you go to my Amazon page, you will find you some. Your pens and everything are on there, okay? Cool. So the second one, try not to control what is out of your control. And we do that a lot. And I mean, it could even happen something as small as it rained today. You can't control the weather. And I know if your wedding day or a big meeting or all these things might have been happening on that day, but we can't control the rain. And sometimes people get really stressed out about that and very anxious about things that they can't control. And it could be on a bigger scale. But what you can control, I say tackle those things. And I know when I feel a little out of control, I tend to clean up because I know I can make everything in my home together. I'll put a nice outfit on and I'll just kind of, things that I can make good in the moment, I do it. So what you can control, I say focus on that when you're feeling out of control so we can bring it back to your center, okay? The third thing is eating right. When you're feeling stressed and you're feeling anxious, I promise you, if you change your diet, even for that day, even if you don't do it for the whole week, for that day, eat green, alive foods, green foods. And I've said this before. I'm sure you guys heard me say this before. Eat green. It lifts your mood. I promise you. Salads, even Tassili's in Atlanta, I love them. When I'm depressed or I'm feeling down, y'all, I go eat that. And it instantly, you'll start feeling a difference because you're saying, it's almost like an act of, gratitude to your body saying, thank you for keeping me. Thank you. Thank you for keeping me alive. These feet, thank you for getting me where I need to go. These hands, thank you for building and touching things and making them gold. You know what I'm saying? So eat food that is alive because it's going in your body and it's making you alive. Your organs act differently. They start moving correctly and properly. I mean, all of it. Eat for your blood type. Find out your blood types. Eat what you're supposed to eat, because if you're eating a mango, like me, I can't have mangoes, and I used to tear them up and broke out in acne. So find out what is supposed to go in your body and what will turn into a toxin inside your body. Okay? So I say that the third thing is eating green and eating to stay alive. That will relieve your stress and anxiety big time. And I say do that every day. Even if it's one meal, do it. Okay, guys? The fourth thing is take a walk in nature and meditate. I meditate in nature. I meditate at home too. But when I can get outside, I definitely do. And it's definitely different than meditating in your home. Connecting with the trees, putting your feet on the ground. It changes your mood instantly too. Okay. I believe that prayer and meditation is the most powerful tool for human beings, period. And I don't care what religion you're in. I think we all pray. You know, we all take that time to connect to source. And in those times where we're feeling overwhelmed and super, super heavy, I promise you, if you drop on your knees, you lay on the bed, you get in a comfortable chair, I don't care what you do, but close your eyes and surrender and open up and literally let it go. And you can even say, I talk to God straight up. God, I am not feeling it today. And for some reason, when I'm in nature, I feel like he answers a bit quicker. So I say, go out, connect, turn your phone off, and just look up. And even if you're looking at the birds and the trees and you're just getting I call it the earthly sound, the sound of the birds, the wind, everything, pay attention to your body in those moments and let it go. Let it slip off. Cool? Nature, meditation, and prayer. And I promise you, once you cast your cares, man, you feel much, much better. Okay? And the fifth and final thing that I say for people who want to alleviate their stress and anxiety, get coaching. Talk to somebody. Confide in someone. Finally open up enough to trust somebody who can help you and guide you through and navigate you through that time of stress and anxiety. I created Creative Energy Life Coaching for people just like you who need someone to talk to, someone they can trust, and just literally dump it all out. With me, nothing is off limits. We can talk about whatever it is you want to talk about. I am here to help you navigate through depression. I'm here to help you navigate through anxiety, and I want to help you. So please go to my website, book your appointment today, and we can sit and talk about whatever it is that you want to talk about. And I can dig deeper into other ways that you can relieve that stress and anxiety that's been bugging you. But I hope these 5 ways that I mentioned today will start you on your journey to being more intentional about your time and being more intentional about your body and tapping into what you want to feel. Because who wants to wake up and feel anxiety and stress every day? Nobody. So get out in nature, eat your good food, okay? And take care of yourself. And I'll leave you with this. Breathe, sleep well, eat well, and drink your water, okay? Thank you for joining me today on the couch. I love each and every one of you. And please join me next time, okay? Peace.
So now before we wrap up, we're going to show you or give just the ways where we do our own self-care things. I know each of us have different things that we do. I'm going to start with mine. I know for a fact, my favorite thing to do is travel. That's my self-care ritual. I travel and I go to the beach. I don't go to parties. I don't go to no clubs. I don't do anything. I sit by the water. I write. Normally my music, because I got a lot of music to write. Journaling by the water is my thing. If that had to be the number one self-care thing that Joy does, is travel. To get away and be by the water so I can smell and feel God.
That's the tone.
So
Cooler water.
and two, I choose the ocean because it's like super, super powerful.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That the ocean can really drown us if it wanted to, y'all. Mm-hmm. It could literally stop. You know how it comes to the shore, then it go back, and then it comes and it go. It could really just keep on going and take all of us out, but it doesn't. And that to me is like the deepness of healing is like, it's so deep. It feels as though that you about to get taken out, but you're not. So stay right there. And I just go to the water and continue my healing process often. It's where I feel the most connected. So what's your self-care? What's one thing that you do?
Work out.
I already know. Tell us what you do.
The iron. Don't do me like that.
You got to pump
No,
the iron.
seriously. She's joking about it, but it has No, I'm serious. Like I wake up in the morning. First, I turn on Abraham, get ready, and I go to the gym.
I like it.
Like I literally do that.
And if you don't know who Abraham is, do your research.
Yes, Abraham Hicks has changed my life tremendously. Thank you, Joy. We were in a very sticky situation, waiting in the airport for hours, and my friend just casually mentioned Abraham and changed my life.
Because everybody was a little anxious and a little.
I needed something, but that was the thing that I needed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was the thing that I needed. Definitely shifted.
Abraham will get you right.
Okay, that's
Nice.
Nadia, what you do?
My self-care moments and self-care rituals, I have so many. I do so many different things to self-heal and care for myself. Write. I do a lot of writing. I read. I listen to a lot of music. I read. I read a lot, and I talk to my mom daily. I think her wisdom and the reassurance that she gives me is definitely adds to my self-care. And I love taking showers.
Showers are the best.
I love taking showers. Those are my self-care moments where I talk to myself. I love myself. I cleanse myself, heal myself, and get to actually be with myself and feel me. So yeah, I would probably say the shower. And being at home is just self-care for me all the time.
I love it.
So I'm thinking how deep I want to get with the self-care. But what kind of couch is this?
It's a couch. Go ahead. No.
Go ahead. I'm just kidding. Go in. So self-care for me, I'm a nighttime person. Like once I put the kids down and the house is quiet, I have a routine of like, I like to clean my kitchen, sweep the floors. Like I like the house to be clean when I wake up in the morning, but it's like a routine to do that. I'm an avid journaler. I've been journaling since like in high school.
Kindergarten.
Shut up.
That's right.
In my office, there is literally a little book that my dad kept from kindergarten. That was my first book that you wrote.
Oh, see,
My name
crazy.
is
My
Tay.
Look, the J was backwards.
my teacher took my paper.
Yes. So journaling and what's really important, music, scent, whether it's sage, whether it's Palo Santo, whatever, it's a programming type of thing. So scent, journaling, music, meditation, breathing. I'm an entrepreneur, so my brain is always going too. So it's so important just to be able to get all the things down on paper, to just allow my mind to slow down at night. Especially for people that deal with anxiety and your brain is racing and going, you have to put it down somewhere. Don't hold it in your head. So, journaling, and another part of self-care, self-pleasure, orgasms, they're healing. So
Absolutely.
that part is important. Seriously.
Yeah.
Like we can talk about sex with other people, but I'm talking about specifically yourself, having that conversation with your body about what you need. So we probably talk about that.
Oh, we're going to dive in.
So yeah, self-care, taking care of myself. So yeah.
Self-care. Anything creative. Music, arts. And I know a lot of people say, I'm not an artist, I'm not this, which is a bull-faced lie. Everybody has an avenue of being creative in some type of way, as far as even interior design, photography, entrepreneurship, makeup, it's just, and my thing is,
And forevermore.
and
Right.
forevermore
Right.
will be the arts, will be painting, will be sketching, is music. So I do that so often to where I kind of get lost in my self-care, to where I'm like, okay, wait, you got to get back to the real world.
Yep.
Because I will turn off my phone in a second. I will put my music on and I will paint, and I can be there until I say when. And I had to learn that I had to take time for me to do it. Because once again, you get back in that routine of, I got to do this, got to do it. No. Come back to self. And it's so weird because my clients, massage therapist, but I stress to them how much self-care is important, because even just standing at or just sitting at your desk and you're just sitting like this for 8 hours a day, and they come to me and I hear their stories of, the neck and bed scoliosis and all this. And I'm like, even just for a couple minutes a day, stand up, stretch, just let it be in your own space. Everything else will be there when you get back.
Yes.
Just tap back in. Just come back, tap in. Okay, so what do you need right now? My shoulders are up. Why? Okay, so let's drop. My knees is heavy. Okay, so let's do this. Don't need to put on some music? Put on your music. And it's refreshing, because now I can deal with you again. Because I love people.
We all do.
We all love people.
I don't know.
I don't know if I have the tolerance to deal with them all the time. Right. I have a gift to help people.
Absolutely.
But because that is, I have to renew wholeheartedly. Got to, because healers get drained very easily. Because we say no. You got to do this. You got to have this. You got to have health and be mindful. And we're saying this to them, and we're forgetting that we have to say it to ourselves. And that once again, I got to go back in the mirror. In the mornings, I'm like, Chris, what do you need?
Yep.
What do you want? Are you hungry?
Now?
Right now? Is this what this pain is? You have a headache. What's happening? That's what self-love and self-care is. Just even the little things, and I'm still learning. I'm still learning what I love. It's really dope.
We're going to get it though.
Oh yeah.
It's coming together.
Every time I sit at my desk, this is what I do every day. I'm like this, even when I'm talking, when I'm walking, whatever I'm doing, I'm always like this. And every day when I feel myself like this, I say, Chris said, do this. Nadia, drop your shoulders. And then I'll be watching the movie and the movie get good and I'll be like,
did they go back up?
Nadia, drop your shoulders. I'm getting there. Ain't there yet, but I'm getting there.
Wow. It's just a simple tap in sometimes.
That's amazing.
I think you said something really important when you said all healers, we get drained. But I think it's really important to recognize that we are drained, because there was a time before in all of our lives where we did not recognize that. We would go past it because someone needed, someone wanted. And I think that is a great indication of where we are in our healing journey, because we now recognize, hey, you're at that point. Stop. Okay.
Yep.
Unplug.
That's how it was.
You deserve it. It's yours. Yeah.
That is so dope.
You see the phone ringing?
Yeah. Listen, do not disturb is now my best friend.
D&D is my best friend.
Yes, and yes.
Y'all D&D?
Listen, I have
you seen the other settings? You can put
the settings,
mindfulness and
Oh, wow, no.
So like literally, yes.
10
And
o'clock
then
D&D
even with
goes
that,
down.
like me doing it when I
Focus.
sleep, because at first I would leave it on because I'm scared. Listen, whatever is happening,
You can't fly there to fix it. So
it's not
look
right
at
now.
it anyway.
So guess what?
Let go.
There is a sleep function. I use her.
10 o'clock, it goes on automatically.
It's power in that sleep function.
It is. It's a power in all the functions.
It's power in that focus button.
Yes, please. Show me.
Yeah.
That was good. Y'all love y'all.
And it alerts other people too. It says
It does. It'll say notification. Yes.
Notifications are silent.
And it'll say,
focus right
and
now.
then it'll say, do you want to notify them anyway? But it'll still notify you silently. You have to pick up your phone. And then if you keep playing with your phone for a while, then it'll say, do you want to turn this focus off because you seem awake? I love that.
Looks like we're up.
Yeah, so are we working or not? Because it checks me. You still playing with your phone? Are you resting or are you not?
I'm gonna put that on my self-care list. D&D.
Yeah, we gonna set focus setting.
Mindfulness.
Yeah, for real. I'm gonna show you.
I love that. Okay.
Beautiful.
Because my phone definitely be
Yeah, I don't even have
So-
notification sounds. It brings it my anxiety.
Oh, okay. Cool. then.
Silent.
Okay, well, ladies, men, whoever's watching, I hope that something was said today to help you guys on your self-care, self-love journey. Know that you're not alone. Every woman on this couch has been through something that led them to loving themselves deeper. So a few things: be self-full and not selfless. Okay? Because less of yourself, you'll end up drained. Okay? Another thing is our rituals for self-care, whether you do them in the morning, in the middle of the day, or at night, or take 5-minute breaks while you're working, make sure you're doing it. And that could be lighting candles at your desk or at home by the tub, soft music. This is one of my favorites. I wrote it down. Bathe with oils, ladies.
Please.
Y'all, I'm sorry. I done hit my mic, babe. Bathe with oils.
Stop using them lotions.
Y'all, oils, essential oils. And you can't do the whole bottle on your skin. You got to dilute it. Read the label. And then too, I don't know why I'm led to say this. You can't take them all internally either. Read that.
Please.
Okay? Because some of them are just for your diffuser. Amen. So, and make sure that you're journaling your thoughts. I was not a journaler at all. My friend Jasmine told me to start writing my stuff down. Now I got stuff everywhere. See? There is stuff. I mean, from all quotes to even me writing little love letters to my man. I just be do.
Because love let them tell you about them words. Nah.
So journaling has allowed my thoughts to have order. Okay, because all of us are creatives and all of us are working and doing things. So that order of journaling will help you. And meditation. If you don't know how to meditate, we're going to get into that too. But meditation is literally just quieting your mind, sitting in the stillness, the quietness, as Jasmine said earlier. Even if you're feeling bad, sit in it. Be uncomfortable. Don't be afraid to be uncomfortable. Dive into what you're feeling and no longer wait for somebody to do anything with you. Do it with yourself first.
Yes.
Date.
Correct.
Please. Flowers. Yes,
honey.
If you like a glass of wine or a glass of liqueur, however you want to do it, take time for yourself and really dive into you.
Yes.
Dive into you. It's changed all of our lives. Okay? So thank you for joining us on the couch. Please tune in. There'll be more videos and more episodes. And we thank you guys for joining us.
The couch.